Yes, my good people, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Guys, Omtatah, Busia Senator, is trying to shock the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Arap Ruto. Wakati ambapo ameamua kuteua jopo la watu 10 ili waweze kufind out ama kufanya discussion na kufind out iwapo pia yeye anaweza kusimama kama President of the Republic ama anaweza kuvai kiti cha presidency. Unaona guys, so hiyo kitu imeweza kupeana William Samoei Arap Ruto tumbo joto. Kwa sababu guys, Omtatah, you need to understand that hajaanza kukosoa serikali leo. Hajaanza mambo ya upinzani leo. Hajaanza kukosoa finance bill leo. Hajaanza kuangusha mambo ya finance bill leo. Allow me to take you just a bit 5 years back before we come to listen kitu ambacho kinajaribu kutokota, ambacho Omtatah anajaribu kuprepare for 2027. Let us listen to a clip of 5 years back, then tuweze kurejea sasa tuangalie ni nini Omtatah anajaribu kuandaa in 2027 ambacho pia kinajaribu kushtua Rais William Samoei Arap Ruto.
If I take up a matter, I try to ask myself how many people will benefit. If it will benefit many people, I take it up. And I say, okay, if I put in my little money and time, it will benefit. It's one way of me also being responsible in my life.
Some call him a man of the people because Andrew Omtatah has stood out as a public defender. On January 17th, 2008, Omtatah chained himself on the gates of the Kenya Police headquarters to protest the killing of unarmed civilians in Kisumu during the post-election crisis. It is such street protests that have had him whisked away as his sound simply gets lost in the wind, besides spending cold nights in police cells. But being a stickler for the rule of law, he opted to take his fights to the corridors of justice.
This desire to go to court for me is like the drunkard. I've got that addiction to the rule of law. When I see things going bad, I feel so bad. And I would challenge anybody to show me a frivolous petition that I've filed. Even where I've not succeeded, show me that there are no issues. Then I'll say, then, okay, I've been a gun for hire to do ABCD.
Earlier this year, soon after the finance bill was assented to by President Huyu, Kenyans came out to support activist Omtatah in suing the government over the new taxes. The response from Kenyans took him by surprise as they raised funds totaling to over 300,000 shillings. Omtatah might be a familiar face in the Kenyan courts, but behind the activism veil, he is also a family man and a father of 3. His 3 days spent researching or writing. So far, he has already published 6 plays, all based on themes of freedom and rule of law.
I won the Academy Award with the Chains of Junkdom. And Chains of Junkdom is one of my most celebrated play, whereby I get into myself and try to find out how do I exist. Do I exist in that moment where the future and the past interface? Do I carry my past with me? How do I engage with the future? So when I was writing Chains of Junkdom, when I think that the natural nature of physical reality is to decompose.
Okiyah, however, believes he is a voice of reason and will continue to do what is right based on the law.
Unaona guys, so huyo ni Omtatah. Tunaelewa kwamba pia Omtatah alikuwa anapigania haki za kibinadamu hapa nchini Kenya zaidi. Unaona, human rights. Huyu jamaa alikuwa anapigania zaidi. Kwa hivyo guys, yesterday Omtatah ameamua kuteua jopo la watu 10 ili waweze kufanya nini? Waweze kufanya discussion iwapo pia yeye ataweza kuvai for the presidency in 2027 iwapo itawezekana. Kwa hivyo guys, kabla tusikize hiyo video jinsi ambavyo imeweza kufanywa na Citizen TV, kwa hivyo guys, allow me to welcome you inside Draipenda Evans Online TV. Nilikuambia guys, hii channel tumejenga mimi na wewe. So without you, I'm sure hii channel itakuwa ina fifia kabisa. Kwa hivyo lazima uwe pale ndiposa hii channel iweze kurun. Kwa hivyo guys, kama unatazama hii video na umefikia hapa, then wewe ni mtu wa maana. So nakuomba tu kwa moyo mkunjufu uweze kulike video. Then kama wewe ni mgeni ndani ya hii channel, basi make sure una subscribe hapo chini ili tuwe familia kubwa tena zaidi. Kwa hivyo guys, let us listen, then tuweze kuendelea na mazungumzo zaidi.
Now, Busia Senator Okiyah Omtatah has formed a 10-member presidential exploratory committee which will evaluate his suitability to run for the presidency in the 2027 general election. The committee, which will be chaired by Mary Kathomi Riongo, will have 18 months to report back to Omtatah on whether or not he is the best fit to run for the top job. Emmanuel Tor reports.
In a Gazette Notice 15372, dated the 22nd of November, the fiery Busia Senator Andrew Okiyah Omtatah establishes a presidential exploratory committee to gather, analyze, evaluate, and act on information on the viability of his presidential bid in the 2027 general election.
The call that Ruto must go is not an idle call, it's a call whose time has come. The entire Kenya Kwanza administration, led by Mr. Ruto, must vacate power. I am demanding that President Ruto vacates office as the only honorable thing to do.
In the notice, Omtatah delegates duties to each of the members in the following order. Mary Kathomi Riongo will chair the committee and lead its coordination. Charles Olekabaiku, who will deputize Kathomi, will assist in coordinating the committee and diaspora affairs. And digital strategist Hanifa Adan will handle the public relations and media docket. Similarly, David John Bwakali is named as the political grassroots strategist to provide insights into political trends, electoral dynamics and strategic opportunities. Victor Kipngetich will act as the legal advisor to ensure compliance with the law and advise on legal issues. Jude Ogola will be the analytics lead to conduct opinion polls and data analysis on political viability and public sentiment. Purity Ndambuki and Emmanuel Baraka will play the role of joint secretaries to support and ensure smooth functioning of the committee. Kevin Migwe Kimwaito will communicate on behalf of the committee as the spokesperson. Engineer Julius Okara will act as the committee's patron to guide the committee. According to Omtatah, the team will have 18 months to report back to him and is expected to give him feedback by May 2026. Omtatah is then expected to go head-to-head against President William Ruto, who will be seeking his second term after a turbulent first half of the mandate he took over in 2022, and other candidates who are likely to come up. In a post on his X platform, Omtatah said, quote, "The road ahead requires thoughtful preparation, and this exploratory phase is a crucial step in ensuring that our vision for the future aligns with the hopes and aspirations of Kenyans." He concludes by saying, quote, "I am committed to listening, learning, and building a platform that reflects the values and priorities of our citizens." Omtatah has gained a high profile across the country for litigating mainly for the public, which to a large extent informed his ascent to the Senate in 2022 under the National Reconstruction Alliance Party. He has maintained his independence, even in the Senate refusing to side with either of the two main alliances in the form of Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. The Busia senator has been a thorn in the flesh of President William Ruto's government, filing several petitions against the Kenya Kwanza government, including on the Finance Act 2023, Finance Bill 2024, the housing levy, among others.
Kama hii housing levy ilikuwa kwa ile nyingine, na mimi nilienda kotini kaichapa mpaka ikarudi kwa voluntary. Sasa mnataka tena nirudi kotini? Bwana Omtatah.
Unaona guys, so huyo ni Okiyah Omtatah. Unajua guys, Okiyah Omtatah wakati ambapo Gen Zs wali occupy the parliament, Gen Zs wengi waliweza kuuawa. Baada ya hapo walienda pale Uhuru Park kuweza kuomboleza wale ambao waliweza kufanya nini, kuaga dunia, wale ambao waliweza kumalizwa na wanapolisi. Unaona, wakaenda kuomboleza pale. Na hiyo siku Okiyah Omtatah aliweza kuattend. Unaona? Hiyo mkutano ambao uliweza kufanyika pale Uhuru Park. So, utakuja kurealize kwamba Gen Zs wanted Okiyah Omtatah to be their leader. Na usahau ya kwamba Rigathi Gachagua akisema kwamba iwapo Gen Zs watakusupport, then asubuhi na mapema wewe ni president of the Republic of Kenya. So I'm sure iwapo Okiyah Omtatah atafaulu kusimama, then William Ruto atakuwa na kazi mingi tena zaidi in 2027. Unaona guys?